Hello everyone, welcome to another video. And no, because it's past Vlogmas, I didn't bother with the jingle bells and all the rest of it. It is straight into it. I had a day off yesterday because I've been a good boy and I deserve it. And it was Christmas and I had to spend it with family. A thoroughly good time was had by all. And to be perfectly honest, by the time that I got back home, I just wanted a snooze because I was absolutely stuffed. But seeing as how I have spent the last better part of a month getting stuff off the pile of shame, some of you may well be wondering whether or not anything got added to it. Yes, it did. Well, no, technically that's not true, because it is not going to get the chance to go onto the pile of shame. It is going to be sorted out forthwith. Before I go much further, new t-shirt. Lucky red shirt. You can tell what franchise that's from. So yeah, that was one present. But now that the clothing situation is out of the way, onto the pile of goodies. The first thing, and this is something that I have not had the chance to use. Speed paints. I was loaned a set by Kate at one stage and I never got round to using them, but seeing as how much stuff I have to paint, then it is entirely possible that these are going to be a godsend, just in terms of taking some of the bigger block colours and getting them done rather than having to, you know, use essentially 4 layers. So I have wanted to give these a try for quite a while and I will be using them very, very shortly. And what I am going to be using them on, Warlord Games Conflict 47. Youngest got me a British Armoured Infantry section, and because it is one nice uniform colour with a little bit of detail work and a little bit of skin, that seems as if it is an ideal candidate for trying out those speed paints. Look out for that. In fact, as soon as I'm finished videoing this stuff, I am going to take these out of the box and start getting them prepped. I told you that I was going to be dealing with this little horde forthwith. Now, going on to another genre, and I did mention Kate with regard to those speed paints. As you know, he's a Battletech fan, and I got these. And this one is one that I have wanted for an absolute age. It's the Marauder. I did sort of do a conversion with the M4 miniatures, but this is an actual one. It's not the original. Apparently the original one was from one of the Japanese franchises, and they didn't realise that there was a copyright issue. That is a sort of reimagined version of something else. And to be perfectly honest, this one, one of the first sets of model kits that I got into was those sort of like Japanese robots. They had one of these and it was, I can't even remember the name of the toy shop, model shop, both, sort of like up above the door on a shelf, and I always sort of looked at it and it was huge, and yeah, if only the wishes of youngsters. But I've got one now, and these I am not 100% certain what they are, but these do need to get painted up so that Kate can have a rematch. Right, what else? The rest of them, I will be perfectly honest, are going to be additions to my 40k Chaos forces. More Traitor Guard stuff. Now, this one, I am going to have to look up. It did come from Temu, but that is fine, because I am more than happy to have these in my collection and not sort of bankrupt the family. It's a flyer of some kind. I'm not 100% certain what it is. If you guys do know what it is, please leave a comment down below. But that is going to be a flyer, because I don't have any for the Pact Forces. There's the addition. Now these ones are the ones that I am really, really, really excited about. I'll lift these two up together. Again, Conflict 47, okay? Both of these are German ones. One of the things that keeps coming up in the Gaunt Ghost novels is they keep referring to Stoke tanks. Now, I've seen sort of artist renditions, artwork of what Stoke tanks are supposed to look like, and I can't be having with that. The real sort of chaosy, horrible, nasty, spindly, spiky, all of that kind of stuff. You know the aesthetic that I'm talking about. Don't like it, okay? It's not my cup of tea, especially when we're talking about what is essentially something that started off as Imperial Guard. And let's face it, Guard stuff is more recognisable as having a modern day counterpart, or, you know, 20th century counterpart. You can tell that's troops, you can tell that's a tank, you can tell that's an aeroplane. Even though they are from a completely different game system, to me seem to fit in better than the stuff that GW may have imagined. So these are going to be blood-packed Stoke tanks. Now this one I'm actually going to have to take out of the box. Again, Warlord Games, and it is another Conflict 47 Walker. Now those ones were German, this one is Japanese, and from the description of what Stoke tanks appear to be like, they're supposed to have legs, and it was almost like a scorpion tail over the back with the gun on it, and that is what this one looks like. So I am going to have a squadron of 3. Wouldn't have a clue where I would find rules for Stoke tanks, but from the size of them, they appear to be comparable with Sentinels, so yeah, why not? So I am going to be getting these made up and painted, and you'll see these very, very shortly as well. So that's it for my haul, but there was far, with a family of gamers, there was far more in the way of gaming haul that was around. I won't go into the card games or anything like that, because that's not kind of the focus of this channel, and to be perfectly honest, I don't necessarily understand it all that well. I'll leave that to the youngsters. But there was one Wargames piece that I thought that I should probably mention. Before I go any further, I stress that this is not a paid presentation. The channel is not big enough for that. And yeah, while thank you very much to those of you who have subscribed, it doesn't look as if I'm going to hit my 500 target by the end of the year. It's getting there, and it will get there eventually, but I digress. As you know, I do the odd product review on this channel, and if I like it, I will say so, and if there are issues with it, then I will certainly say so as well. I also do like to give shout outs to shops or suppliers or things like that that I believe are doing a good job, and I have some very, very special shout outs this time. Quick bit of backstory. In one of the videos, I think it was round about the 23rd, I was seriously struggling for a last minute present for youngst heathen. Well, any present, to be perfectly honest. He hadn't given any kind of clues, and so it was, I'll be perfectly honest, he almost ended up with power tools. That was going to be the fallback position. I do prefer to get people presents that, you know, they will want, appreciate and use. So I headed down to the first shop, and I didn't show this in the video because obviously it was before Christmas and I didn't want to tip him off as to potentially what he would be getting. The first place that I went to is a shop in town called the Wizard Retreat. I will leave a link to their website down below. I would say it is probably the best overall wargaming shop in Christchurch. Well, gaming shop in general. It's a reasonably large premises for a brick and mortar store in this city. One side is just packed with board games. They've got a huge selection. And then the other side of the shop is more the war games side. All of your popular manufacturers, there's plenty of GW stuff. They've got tons of that. D&D stuff. They've got Conflict 47, they've got Bolt Action. There's a really excellent selection there. And I was wandering up and down the aisles, having a look to see if there was anything that sort of like took me fancy, would fit in with the kind of things that he is after, and I will be perfectly honest, I drew a blank. I did, in the sort of GW aisles, have a glance down and I saw some carry cases. And because I had only just started doing the repairs and refresh on Gaunt's Ghosts, and knowing the backstory of how they got damaged in transit, I thought, oh, you know, he's got figures, maybe that's something. And to be perfectly honest, the GW ones were piddly little things. You could maybe have got a combat squad in there, had to mortgage your house just to pay for it. So it was like, yeah, nice idea. Put that off to one side. Long story short, on that trip to Wizard's Retreat, I didn't get anything. However, and I didn't realise this, but just last month, a new game store had opened up in town, and I hadn't checked it out. I hadn't even realised that it had opened. I saw their advert on the back of a bus, and I thought, well, they've got a different range, maybe they'll have something. So I headed along to them. So Hobby Lords, I am certain that the wife has been to one of the Hobby Lords stores before. When she went down to Dunedin, she went in and the guys were absolutely brilliant, asked what I was into. She told them about the channel, and they gave her a nice little selection of things, some of which I have painted, but a lot of which I haven't as of yet. It was the kind of thing where it was like, oh, I'll do that for the pile of shame, oh, I'll do that for the pile of shame, and I just ran out of time. But I do need to get on to the stuff that they got, because there's some cracking little things in there. However, I went in and was having a look, and with it being a new store, they were actually still in the process kind of setting up, doing stock takes, things like that. Yes, it was a different range. They had more in the way of sort of Gundam and things like that the Wizard's Retreat doesn't have. Bobbleheads, cards, so, you know, so yeah, a different selection. So I had a good wander around, was chatting to the guys there, and I saw these. Oh, God. See if I can actually get it in frame. You're getting an awful lot of reflection there on the state of things that are around the camera. I might blur that out, I might not. See? Even lights up. So they had a couple of those, and I was eyeing them up. And I thought, you know, having seen the price of the GW stuff, I thought, oh God, that's gonna be horrendous. As it turned out, no, they weren't for sale. It was the store staff's personal stuff for their personal armies. They didn't actually stock this, but they swore by it, and it certainly, you know, I had a good chance to have a look around. They were brilliant like that. It certainly seemed as if it was really excellent quality, and they said, yeah, we would love to be able to stock something like this, but we can't. Wizard's Retreat have got them. I'd only just been there, but I didn't see them. And he got these from the States, I believe, just before the tariffs kicked in. He got a good couple of pallets of the things. Massive shout out to the guys at Hobby Lords for sending me back there, because at the end of the day, you know, it was a missed sale for them. You know, there was maybe Gundam stuff that I could have got for them. Hats off to them. That is excellent customer service. They didn't stock it. They told me where I could go and get it. And in this day and age, you don't necessarily get that, but that is the kind of thing that you do get in this country. So big shout out to the guys at Hobby Lords. Again, link in the description down below. So back along the road I went, back to the Wizard's Retreat, and the guys at Hobby Lords had told me exactly where they were. And the packaging, I'll be perfectly honest, it just looked like, you know, full stock boxes that were, and it was a pile of them, and it was as if they still had to be sort of like opened up and the stuff taken out and put on the shelves. But it wasn't, it was these carry cases. And he did have a couple on display. He took one down, he stood on it. All right, there was an army of his that was inside it. He put it on the ground, he physically stood on top of the case, so that shows you how robust these things are. And the trays inside are all metal. He had magnetized them. He lifted it up on its side and he was shaking like this. Not a thing moved. Absolutely brilliant. And you know what? The price wasn't all that bad either. So that is what Youngest got, so he never has to do a Tanith. what can I say? Name of the manufacturer, and you can get them in the States with the tariffs. There may be some problems. Jucoci. Jucoci? Is that how you pronounce it? I am not 100% certain. I've probably butchered that. This one is the largest of it. It comes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fully metal trays. Obviously it's adjustable, and yeah, it lights up. It's a display case as well. Batteries not included, but he was more than happy with that. Hopefully the kids got the hint that maybe when it comes to Dad's birthday. Okay. Not that I'm hinting. Because certainly 15 years ago, if I'd had something like that, I would not have been making the kind of videos that I have been for the last couple of days. If only they came out with a box like this that had a mount underneath so that it can fit onto the cargo bracket on the back of a motorbike. Now that's a niche idea for somebody. Maybe I should trademark that. Anyway, that is enough for me. I have waffled on for far too long in this video, even though I was getting really excited about it. Obviously, links to that thing down below, links to the 2 suppliers in town down below, because they were absolutely brilliant and can't ask for more than that. And the guys at Hobby Loads appear to be Terminator fans as well. Maybe I'll take the Terminator stuff down and do an exhibition match down there. I'll contact them. You know, that is all for this video from me, because apart from anything else, I've got toys that I want to play with. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Toodle pip for now.